Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, and Taurus Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. At this channel, we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I always like to start with a little conversation starter from Spirit, so while we're getting that, let me take this opportunity to thank you for watching, for sharing, for liking my videos. I always enjoy reading the comments. I like knowing what's going on. I just appreciate the time that you put into doing that. And so let's just see what we're getting here. Okay, let's get started. Apparently this week is going to be a little tense. So Taurus, we've got the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is aggressive, combative, argumentative energy. I mean, look at that guy. He is not a happy camper. He's all mad. He's carrying on, and he's just hacking away at her hair. And she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what my hair is going to look like when he's done. And so sometimes it can really create problems. And then we have the Eight of Swords here, which is the I'm trapped and I want out of this life. And so I wonder if frustration finally boils over about some situation for you where you've like been feeling trapped and you're like, I've had it and I'm cutting myself free and I'm getting out of here. Now, what area of your life this is in, I cannot tell, because the moon starts in the first house, which is your house of self, of how you view the world. And then it moves into your sense of self-worth, self-esteem, your finances, your communication, and it does get into your sense of home and what means home and your nurturing energy. But honestly, it could be with your home. It's most likely with your home, but not necessarily. And so where in your life have you been feeling trapped, up against it, literally up against it, no way out, and then now you're like, you know what? I've had it. I'm cutting myself free. You've been sitting on the fence for something for a long time. Looks like maybe things are finally moving. Looks like it's going to be a lot of communication. Not necessarily all good. So, in your house of you, on Sunday and Monday, we have self-love and nourishment. This is about you taking care of you. That's a good thing. Then you have busy bee hopes. As you make small efforts in your money garden, the nectar of your efforts will be rewarded with sweetness of happiness. So, all right. This could be about money. This says that, but it also has to do with the cards. But I think that basically the message is when you start doing small things for yourself, when you start consistently nourishing yourself and showing yourself love, then you start to grow more of that into your life. And so that's something to really think about. Like, what do you want to grow and take care of? So putting it's much like building a bank account. It's the small investments of time and energy that you put into your self-esteem, into taking care of yourself. They start to pay off. This could be about maybe you need to have a new health routine. And the small steps of self-nourishment and self-love would be eating better. Maybe at least at this meal you make a better choice than you did, small steps. Maybe you go for a walk. It doesn't have to be a full-on gym routine. But it's just small things that you do, and it's over time it starts working toward a much better outcome. When the moon moves into Gemini, which is your second house of self-esteem, self-value, and self-worth, look at you. You're looking for the path. It's like you're looking out the window, right? Which way do I go? Assessing the situation. How do I get there? So you've been sitting on the fence for a long time. Now you're just being asked to take one baby step forward. just start making some small steps, moving in the right direction. And you have blessings of the kata. I think I said that right, restored. And because this is the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle, because I could sit here and I could tell you what these things are, but to be honest, when it comes to explaining these particular cards, I just love the way that Alana Fairchild writes them, and so we're going to go with that. And this is a 7, 34. It's a 7. So it's a spiritual number. So these blessings restored, this path, this assessing, figuring out where you're going. It's divine timing is involved, or divine guidance. There's something divine about it when you have the number 7. It's a very spiritual number. All right. So it says, in your heart, a desire for union grows, an impulse to move deeper into love's embrace. As you open your heart, I am able to gift you with the healing balm and blessings. It is never too late for love. It is never too late for joy. It is never too late for connection. As my blessings vest in your heart, a path will open for you, leading you into love's expansive landscape. You are worthy of such blessings and shall be safe in the joy of its embrace. Again, this is in your house of self-value, self-worth, self-esteem. This isn't about money. I know this was a money card, but it's not about money. This is about you learning to love yourself. This is about you. When you love yourself, when you have self-love, then it's easier to attract. It's really the only way to attract the right kind of loving energy into your life. Because we all vibrate on some kind of a level of energy, and we tend to, you know how they say birds of a feather flock together. You end up with people who are vibrating at the same level. So if you want someone that can love you, they need to be able to love themselves. And you're not going to find someone like that if you aren't loving yourself, if you aren't nourishing yourself, if you aren't taking small daily steps toward taking care of yourself to move along the path. And if you have your heart and mind already set on somebody and you've been sitting on the fence and not doing anything about it, well, then it's time to start taking small measured steps in that direction. Because you've been feeling trapped in something, and it's time to cut yourself free. I almost feel like this isn't so much about negative, explosive energy, but more like the knight riding in with the sword, swinging it and clearing a path. Is kind of what it feels like. On Thursday, the moon's going to move into Cancer, which is your 3rd house of communication, in which case this could be the issue. And so it's about discernment. Trying to see it through the clouds. What are you afraid of? You have a lot of fears here. Most of them need to be let go of. She's only got one cage there to hang on to, one fear. Most of your fears need to be let go of. If you've been sitting on go, which you have been for a while, is it because of the fears? You have boundaries. Your fears are like the cage that this child finds himself in. The fears are creating a boundary around him, and he's miserable and unhappy. Or the bars on the windows, and she's seeing out through them, but she can't get there, and she's miserable and unhappy. Like, there's a lot of misery and unhappy because of these boundaries. Have you built such a wall of protection around you? Are these boundaries holding you back from actually finding the joy? Are you afraid of what's on the other side? So are you trying to keep somebody out? And then as a result, you've just been keeping yourself in? And because Spirit's really doubling down on this. Because when the moon moves on Saturday into the house of Leo, that's your 4th house of home. And this card is called boundaries. and it's followed up by willpower. And so I feel like we see boundaries here. He's cutting stuff out here. Boundaries, boundaries. Taurus. I feel like you've been keeping yourself in this little cage, this little bubble of self-protection because you're afraid of the unknown. Taurus is about, it rules the second house of self-worth, self-esteem, finances, things of value. And sometimes the fear of not having enough keeps you in a situation where, okay, so maybe you have enough financial stability, but you're miserable and unhappy, and that's not actually abundance. And I think you would be surprised that if you would let yourself out, that you would still figure out how to make it work. You have journey into the moonlight, believe in magic. So with this new moon in Pisces, if you have not already done so, please write your intentions. Turn them over to Spirit. And believe that you can change things. Believe that you can take these steps forward. Have a little faith. Spirit has got you. Spirit has got you. They've been waiting for you to start moving. They've been waiting for you to start taking little baby steps in the direction that will bring you the happiness that you so crave and you deserve. Small steps. Communicating with somebody that this isn't working for me. Can we try to do it differently? Now, setting yourself free doesn't necessarily mean ending a relationship, but maybe ending an aspect of a relationship that's very negative and not working for you. If you've been standing there and taking it because you don't want to rock the boat, because you're trying to create stability, but you're just becoming more and more miserable, and then all of a sudden you explode in anger. And when a Taurus explodes in anger, nobody wants to be around that. Not even the Taurus, right? And so instead, maybe letting off, letting off the steam a little by little, as in when the whatever it is that bothers you happens, speaking up and saying something in the first place, so that you don't have this big pile up of stuff coming. So you have blue, activate your healing power. Blue is the throat chakra. So when you go to speak, when you try to stand up for yourself, when you try to explain that these boundaries, this isn't working for you, you can heal the situation. If you don't want to blow up the situation, choose your words carefully. If blowing up the situation is necessary because you really need to get out of something, it's still healing. Sometimes that tower's got to fall, right? So you can rebuild. All right, Taurus. I always feel like when I do your reading, I have this image in my head of you sitting on a fence, literally, and I see splinters because you've been there so long, rocking in place, trying to decide which way to go. And I think, doesn't that hurt? That's what I think. So activate your healing powers and stop the pain from the splinters. Pick a side. I don't know which side, but you need to pick a side. You need to believe in magic. You need to pick. You can't sit on the fence forever. All right? I will see you back here next week. Hopefully I'll be like, oh yeah. I gotta say though, with us being in retrograde, it does tend to slow process down. And so there might be a little reevaluating going on. So even though I say you're sitting on the fence and you should go, it's okay. And don't be upset with yourself if you need just a little more time. Take a baby step. Just a little small step in the right direction. Whatever that is. Okay? And if you don't know what that is, I think you do. I think you've just been hesitating, to be honest. All right. All right, Taurus, I will see you back here. Be sure to leave me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. And you take care. I will see you next week. Don't forget to check out the new moon in Pisces video. That might be a little helpful for you.